Hey everyone, today I'm speaking with our Minister of Seniors, Deb Schulte, about some important and pressing issues in our community that may affect our senior population. What are new initiatives or the benefits that are available to Canadian seniors right now?
So, you're absolutely right. Seniors have been having a very tough time. They are vulnerable. We have given, through public health agencies, advice to stay home, stay not socially isolated, but physically distant from their families and from their grandkids and from their friends. It's very, very tough. It's created a real hardship for seniors. They having trouble, getting their groceries, getting their transportation needs met. It's all coming with extra costs for them. So we recognize that even while they were getting their pensions and still, that was not being affected, while other people may have been losing their jobs and losing their companies, which we were working very hard to support. We realized seniors needed help too. So early on, low-income Canadians, low to middle modest income Canadians, we did a GST top-up, which provided on average, for single seniors about $375. For couples, it was about $510. So that was in April that they received to help them with those additional costs. But we realized it wasn't enough. So we enhance that with a new benefit that was announced a couple of weeks ago. That will be coming the first week of July. And that is for all old age supplement recipients, old age security recipients. They will be getting a supplementary payment of $300. And if they're on guaranteed income supplement, they'll be getting an extra additional $200. So for those low income seniors, they'll be getting $500. For couples, that's $1,000. If you add that to the GST credit top up, that comes out to over $1,500 for a low income senior couple in Canada, which is a significant amount of help to get through the pandemic. So that's just the direct financial support that they'll be receiving. They don't have to apply. They'll be getting that to help them through. But we're also helping with about $500 million of support through charity organizations, through New Horizons, so that seniors can get the support they need in the communities. So that's an additional amount of support that we're trying to provide.
Absolutely. And TLN has participated with New Horizons for seniors for many years. And I think it's definitely something that really reaches Canadian elderly population. So if you were to use this platform to kind of deliver a message to all of the seniors that are back home, what do you think is the most important thing that they have to hear right now?
So the most important thing is that we're not through the pandemic yet. They need to stay safe, continue to stay safe. Be very careful when they're out and about. Don't go out if you don't have to. Even with your family members that may be out circulating in the community, be aware that you need to practice good physical distancing and hand hygiene so that you can make sure that you stay safe, because seniors are more vulnerable, and we can see that in the statistics. And you mentioned about the long-term care. So anyone that has family in long-term care, it has been very, very difficult. They're pretty much across the country, they were in lockdown, which meant nobody could go and see them. Window visits was all we could do. My mother-in-law is in the long-term care, so it's very very difficult. It is also a tragic, the loss of life that we've had in long-term care, but we can see that once it gets into a long-term care facility, it's very hard to control and maintain that safety zone for the residents. So as we move forward, just be careful, stay safe. It's not over. Obviously, you can't stay isolated from your friends and family forever, but do make sure that you're doing it, get together outside. Try to be very careful in no hugs and kisses, the kind of thing that keeps, that people need that physical contact. But right now, we're going to have to say, please be very, very careful. We don't have a vaccine, and we need you to stay safe.
And Minister, I know it is regulated by the province, but you did mention a lot of the situations that are happening in long-term care homes, and we've seen a lot of the controversy that was discovered by the Canadian Armed Forces. So I just want to know, what is the federal government doing to ensure that moving forward, this doesn't happen again?
So you're right. It's regulated by the provinces. However, we have been there to support them at long-term care facilities right since the very beginning. We recognized that they needed guidance, so we worked with public health agencies across the country to come up with guidelines to help keep seniors safe in those homes. We also recognized that to do that meant that you had to have protective equipment, and there was a worldwide shortage of protective equipment. So we worked around the clock, and we are still working on that to secure the necessary protective equipment and get Canadian businesses engaged so that we could have a domestic supply that we need. Because as we open up, we're going to need to have more and more of that. So those are just two things. We put $3 billion of money on the table with the provinces to help with the staffing so that we could do a wage top up, because we know that those angels on the front line that were working those facilities were under tremendous pressure, and they were, in environments where there was outbreak and putting their lives at risk. They needed the equipment, they needed the support to be able to do that, and they were being asked to work in just one facility, and that was putting financial strain on them. So to support them, we wanted to make sure that they had a wage top up, not just for long-term care, but for all essential workers that have been, providing us the services we've needed while we're in this pandemic. We also brought in the military when we were asked to come and help stabilize some facilities that were in desperate straits. We brought in the military. So over 1,000 troops were in Quebec, and we had over 5 facilities in Ontario that we were helping with. So this is how how the government has been supporting Ontario and Quebec and other provinces across the country with long-term care, and we will be there with the provinces as we work to improve for the future, because we now can see there are significant initiatives that need to be done to make sure that going forward we don't have this happen again.
Of course, and something else that's also been in the headlines has been, unfortunately, fraud regarding these senior benefits. So I would love for you to talk to us about this and what is happening.
So we have seen some of those stories, which is one of the reasons why with the new benefit that we wanted to provide with seniors, that, we had some concerns about it's taking longer than, potentially the CERB, the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. But you have to apply for that. And that opens up people to vulnerable situations where, they'll get a call back, say, oh, your application needs more information, please provide, so they're vulnerable. So we wanted to make sure that for our senior benefits, they didn't have to apply. We've got 6.7 million Canadians that are going to receive that supplementary payment that are on old age security. So we didn't want them to have to go through that process of applying. So we created a new mechanism to be able to do that automatically, and that kept our seniors safer from the the impacts of potential fraud that they may be exposed to if they have to apply.
So does that mean that maybe moving forward that would apply as well to the CERB? Because we have heard so many stories about people falsifying CERB checks or even applying when they don't really necessarily fit all of the criteria. Is that a system that moving forward could help Canadians with that?
So the CERB is truly just a special measure that was put in place to help Canadians that lost their jobs because of the pandemic get through quickly and get the amount of money that they needed to be able to stay home. The original purpose of it was to support Canadians that needed to stay home so that they didn't go to work sick and then infect others, right? And then it just obviously became a very important tool to allow Canadians to, get through while we were in shutdown. So as the economy is moving forward and we're opening up, we're going to see less and less people needing the CERB. I can assure you that while we made it very simple and very fast to get the money, and therefore there wasn't a lot of checks and balances at the beginning, because that would have slowed down the flow of money that we needed to make sure people had to stay home and to stay able to get through. We have those checks and balances on the back end, so there will be pursuit of fraud cases. We will be pursuing those that have fraudulently put in claims. So be sure that the government hasn't ignored it. It's just it moved the process to the back end rather than the front end, so that we could get the money out quickly, support Canadians, and then the process of working with those that have abused the system will come.
Absolutely. Now, Minister, before we let you go, I would just like to first off thank you, of course, for prioritizing our seniors, which is so important to us at TLN. It's so important for us to make sure that these forgotten populations sometimes get the help that they deserve. Is there a message that you'd like to share with the TLN community about how maybe each one of us can help out the Canadian senior population during this pandemic?
So I just want to say how inspirational the stories have been about Canadians stepping up and helping seniors in the community. I'm seeing so many requests for support to help groups get out there, and a lot aren't asking for money. They're just asking for connections, how to make sure that they can do this well. But they are delivering groceries. They're helping people get to their appointments. They're connecting them, helping them to get connected, providing tablets and tools to be able to help them. And I just it's very inspirational, the kind of things that Canadians are doing. Companies are stepping up, they're saying, come on into our store an hour early. We'll have it extra specially clean. We'll have it, empty, so that you can come in and do your shopping and stay safe. So it's inspirational what's been going on across Canada. And I want to assure any Canadian senior that feels that they haven't connected, reach out to your community groups, reach out to your MP. We'll connect you with the services. And I'm working very hard with some additional money. In our announcement, we announced another $20 million that we'll be distributing across Canada to help seniors locally in their community get connected to services and supports. I wanted to thank the TLN channels, because you have been so important as well. You're out there supporting seniors, fighting the abuse that's going on with some special airings. And I just wanted to thank you. It's important. Everyone is doing their part to reach out and support seniors. People are making phone calls just to reach out to their local neighbors, making sure that they're okay. So I think it's shown the spirit of generosity and the very wonderful country that we have. And groups like yourself and your station have been doing an incredibly important role in that, making sure everybody gets connected and is aware of the information they need to take advantage of those supports. So thank you.
Thank you. And I do think that right now, although the focus is on being socially distant, we have to be together more than ever and really helping in our communities. So thank you, Minister, for your words. And we really do hope to welcome you into our offices once all of this is over.
Thank you, Camilla. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.